Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 40 of the 9 Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. Josh, we're hitting tops today.
We are hitting tops.
Big achievement to get to 40 episodes. How are you after what was a fantastic week of darts?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, first of all, well done. 40 episodes. That's a big achievement itself. We are hitting tops today. And yeah, and on the darts landscape, it's been a huge week. We've got so much to delve into, don't we?
Oh, there's just so many angles. Everywhere you looked around the world, there was a darts tournament this week. There were international qualifiers left, right, and centre. It was all happening, and it was very, very exciting. But the main focus, of course, of this podcast is, of course, the Grand Slam of darts wrapping up. And how did you see the tournament, Josh? I thought it was fantastic. We had quite a few interesting events going on, even those end of group stages, which sometimes they can be a little bit flat. There were matches that were really important, and some players really jumping into good form ahead of the World Championship.
Hey, I sure did. Well, last week we were up to the final group stages. So after that, we had the following rounds. And since then, it's been fantastic. We had some guys who have been pretty much not seen for a lot of the year who just really shot up. Have those notable names and positive surprises, but there were some really good games, especially in the back end, for sure. But no, obviously a very, very successful tournament at that, for sure.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next year when they go to the 48 players.
Yes.
16 groups of 3. That's
exciting.
Will certainly be what it is. Hopefully we get to see a few more of those sort of international wildcard options come through. We've got quite a few clips to share for the crazy moments.
Sure do.
As I don't need the Wikipedia yet, I want the rundown. Here we go. So we'll start with a bunch of 170 outs. Several players were hitting big fishes over the course. We talked about, certainly Ricky Evans was one from the last episode. So this was everything from the knockout stage onwards. That's going to be the point of discussion, because when we did our episode 39 last week, we were at the end of the group stages. So for anyone listening back, that's where we are currently at. Let's start with some of those 170 finishes from the line.
He's left 16. Is he going to get a poke at the 16? Bullseye for a 170. He's smiling. And he should...
So is that enough to force Price to go for this? Does he go for it?
He goes for it.
When the pressure, the throw of Edgar when he needs this fish.
He needs a ball. The match in glorious style. And look at the sun.
John Park made a very strange noise. If this goes, Professor Park could sound like a deflating balloon. The bullseye! Oh,
Commentary.
fishing time.
This man was impressive. We'll get to him later.
Bullseye for the fish.
Yes,
There you
so
go.
by the way, the Sky Sports commentary team is absolutely fantastic. I know some people don't like, one or two of their commentators, but I'm not saying that the ones that are disliked are necessarily my absolute favorites, but I think they're all very strong and provide a little bit something different whenever they commentate. So the Sky Sports coverage was great. And yeah, some of the darts was magnificent. That MVG knocked game, the first 5 legs, everything was happening. There was 160, there was 170, there were 180s. It was a ripping start to that particular game. Something that on the other end of the scale, in terms of the end of the game, Michael Smith and Connor Scott. And I might fast forward through some of the dead time here, but this was a bad last leg. It started so brilliantly.
Smith on a 2-darter. Doby. He's already survived darts for the match.
It will not be 11 darts. It'll be a lot more for...
And he can't take his chance.
They were nervy darts. Michael Smith, another opportunity. He doesn't find the treble. Glance at tops. To end in... And he just loses the reins. That's a wild dart. A double top. Put for the cheeks from Doby, but he's got to hold himself together now.
Doby pacing around, spinning around like a top, trying to compose himself.
What's this back in real time?
Still tops.
He's been nowhere near. 5 darts, all in the same place. He's been nowhere near the tops, Chris Doby. More chances for Michael Smith.
the bully boy to win an epic double 16, double 8. When will he win?
Well, Chris, he's got to take his time here. He hasn't even scared that top to the 5 match starts in this leg. He needs something. If he doesn't pin it, he needs something to work with off the first one.
5 match starts missed already at this point.
There'll be more. These legs always
To win the match,
do you know what
double 10. This is torture for them.
8 match starts in this leg for Chris Dobie. They keep pulling it. Smith again for a place in the quarterfinals.
Double 8 for Michael Smith. Double 4. They just keep missing. A farcical end to the match. What a contest.
What on earth is going on?
Starts missed.
You've missed all these match starts. You're not relishing double 5.
Make that 9.
And then this one.
Has that come out of the double 12?
Should have gone right.
That's it. Double 12. This is barely about skill any longer. This is just about nerve and maybe luck.
Bully boy gets over the line.
There's nothing contested. We're just playing some legs, but Michael Smith is losing most of them.
Well, it's got to the point that I'm not sure that's enough for Michael Smith. Joking. Magnificent. The rhythm. They're both on 9s.
It's gone true. Ready?
Yes, and Luke may hit. They're both on a 9. They're both on 9s.
You're actually right. They are both on 9s. Michael Smith, the last one he hit was in the World Final. The perfect leg in the World Final. What about one of the slams? Oh, he misses. But it's not done yet, this leg.
And then obviously.
Wow. Is this going to be deja vu?
I'll move it off. Oh wait, no. No. This was. I thought we were going to the next slide about Littler, but we had to because Josh has to self-indulge himself. Here he's hitting a 180. If you're on 306, by the way, Josh, you should be switching to the 19. Certainly with Dart 1. So
I probably should, but hey, I was going for it. And did you see down the
you
bottom?
would have left a finish. You would have left 166. So there's Josh 180. I was going to say how weird it is that in History Sky Sports going into this year, it only happened twice that both players have been on 9 darters after 6. Wade and Taylor in a World Match Play final from the 2000s, and obviously MVG and Smith in the World Final in 23. And it's happened twice this year with Littler and Rock, and now Smith and Humphries. So it's mad. But anyway, those were some of the best moments from the Grand Slam of darts. And again, that chaos in one Smith leg, and then the other Smith leg, the first 5 visits was just was peak. Anyway, look,
absolutely.
I'm gonna let you. Maybe I'll give you the first thoughts on this one. Luke has retained the Grand Slam of darts. He's still unbeaten in Wolverhampton. And once again, over the very long formats, Josh, he's just pretty much unbeatable.
He is. Well, every single game was over 100 average. I think as the game goes along, he gets better. Even if he's ahead, but especially when he's down a couple of legs, he just finds a second gear. Because I think he actually plays better when he's angry. I think there's just some sort of little switch in him that goes, right, I need to just bang in some troubles, and he sure did. If we go through his results, because obviously we had the group stages, so we go from the second round. He had a 10-4 victory against Westwell Nyman, who was a bit below average. And this was a good game, 16-12 against Josh Rock. He had 100 average himself, but Luke was just too good. 100.
Yeah, that Rock game was. It's just a joy whenever those two play because they bring the best out of each other. So that was a ripper.
To say, I think Rock and Littler will be playing together for some time for sure.
Well, they might be in the Premier League next year, Josh, and I want to talk to you about the Premier League a little bit later.
We will indeed.
I think we have and I'm going to predict when we get to the great debate. I'm going to predict what I think the PDC think the 8 are right now. I'm
Okay.
pretty confident I know what they think it is, but anyway,
All right.
you keep going.
Interesting. We'll get to that. So in the semi-final, he beat Danny Noppert 16-9. Noppert was also very good the whole tournament, I got to say. He was impressive. Then obviously it was another Luke versus Luke final. It's happened again. It's going to keep happening. And he won 16-11, 100 average in the end. Humphries was very good himself, just a tick under 100. But he's just dominant.
Though, for
Sorry?
It felt semi-comfortable for Littler, I felt, throughout that match.
It did.
It never felt like it was right there. Particularly, the big
Yeah.
error for Humphries was going for the ball for the 170. Then he missed the big number, so he only got one dart the outer ring of that leg, and then Littler took out the 160. The moment he hit the 160, the match was over. They should have called it there. They shouldn't have even bothered with the other 7 legs or however many they played, because he went 11-9 up at that point. That was the backbreaker. So they could have called it there. And if it was boxing, they would have called it there and not even bothered with the rest of the fight. But
absolutely.
So over these, and we talk about the long format stuff, and here is a graphic. This is from a Twitter account that is tracking Michael Van Goen's quest to hit a 9 on Sky, something he hasn't done since 2012 when he nearly hit 2 back-to-back. This is Luke Littler's record in matches that are 20 legs or longer. He's 22 wins, 1 loss. The 1 loss was the 2024 World Final, and if he hit the double 2 to go 5-2 up in sets,
oh my god, I remember that.
He surely would have won from there. So he's the withdrawal wire away, I reckon, from being a perfect 23-0 in this. It's something about this format where, again, he just kicks into gear, and it doesn't matter if he goes 5-0 down. It doesn't matter if he goes a couple sets behind in a World Championship context, even though he's never really done that. All his matches have been that he's won at the World Championship has been comfortable, except for Ryan Joyce last year. So, because that's the only one that went to a last set. It is something, but it's going to break at some point. You would think it can't go on like this, can it? It can.
It can.
Yeah, but it's going to happen it will happen at some point, surely. When this streak comes to an end, or he starts losing a few in a row over the longer formats, it'll be something we'll talk about. But for the moment, this graphic is actually quite extraordinary to see all that green.
Beyond extraordinary. And you can do it both in set play and league play. It's not just over a certain format. You can do it against both. It just shows how versatile he is. It's just incredible. Just incredible. It really is.
Yeah, so if you want to beat him, you have to beat him early. You've got to beat him quickly. So the MVG Littler game at the World Series Finals, that was the best of 21, but it didn't get to 20 legs as Michael won it quickly enough. So that's what you got to do. Don't give him the Go and Price game, that bizarre game at the World Grand Prix. The last leg of that was the 20th leg, so it's squeezed into this category. So Price had beat him earlier. He would have. Once it goes to 20 legs, it's basically over. The only one who could possibly beat him is Luke, who is himself quite extraordinary over a longer format as well. He feels pretty tough to beat there as well. And something we should mention as well in this section. Now, Josh, even though it's felt like this for a long time, and he was bound to do it at some point, Luke Littler is now the new world number 1.
He is. We should give him credit for that. That is just extraordinary. We were thinking, well, if he goes well in this tournament, he'll overtake him, and sure enough, he won it.
He just needed to make the final.
At just 18 years of age, it's just...
He doesn't even have a full 2 years. He's got one more event where he doesn't have to defend any money, and that's this Plays Finals this weekend.
The actual amount of prize money he's accumulated since he actually got into the PDC system is just bonkers. What is it? Would it be close to 2 million now? 1.8 maybe?
It's 1.8 and a half on the rank. That's only ranking money.
That's on the rank.
That doesn't count all ranking money. And more importantly, he doesn't count endorsements and everything else he's done and Xbox money for exhibitions that he's got over the last 2 years. So he's at least made he must have made at least 3 million, 4 million pounds, which you double that for Australian dollars.
Aussie dollars.
So it has been a mad couple of years from someone who very few knew about. And this time, 2 years ago, he was the underdog in the World Youth Final against Jan van Veen.
He was. Yeah, I do remember that. And obviously, Van Veen's great. But yeah, there was a video I watched in the lead up to the World Championship, just giving a little preview. And I remember there was this video that this guy was going through all the group stages. He's like, keep your eye out on Luke Littler. He might be something. He's paying X amount. And I'm like, okay, that could be an interesting guy to watch. And sure enough, just, oh my God, he beat, I think it was Gilding, someone else. So Gilding, Barney.
Christian Kist was first.
Christian Kist
Christian Kist. Andrew Gilding was the seed. I'm going to try. I'm certain I can remember them all. Matt Campbell, the Canadian.
Matt Campbell as well.
That's right. The legendary Dutchman. Quarterfinal.
It's interesting.
It was Rob Cross, then Luke Humphries, who was the quarterfinalist he played. Brendan Dolan. It was Brendan Dolan.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a good memory there.
Campbell, Van Barneveld, Dolan, Cross, Humphries was that run.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, it was something. That when he burst onto the scene, and all of a sudden we were people like me who were casuals who were really only paying attention to the World Championship now wanted to watch him every single moment we could, and put him in the Premier League as well was the best decision the PDC has basically ever made in their entire 30 years of existence. Because not only did that make sure more eyes were on the sport throughout, he was definitely ready for it because he won it.
Well, I'll say that. Those people saying, "Is he ready?" He's only 17 at the time, but no.
Well, he was 16 when he played the World
Championship.
16. He just turned 17.
He just turned 17. You're right. So everyone's thinking, "Oh, this bloke's too young. Give him another year or so." A bit of a flash in the pan, perhaps, but no, he's more than a flash in the pan. We can tell that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, number one, and he'll probably, unless Humphries wins this World Championship and wins the £1 million, he's probably going to stay there for a long, long time. The other mad thing as well is if Michael Van Gerwen wins, let's say Michael Van Gerwen or Stephen Bunting, someone like that, wins the World Championship, they can only go as high as world number, certainly maybe 2, maybe 3. They can't jump Littler.
Okay, there you go.
At the moment on the tour card race after this World Championship, so he's locked in for world number 1 for a little while, and with the prize money going up, he's going to be defending. But if he makes the same stages as he's been making in the last few years, he's actually going to add to his ranking.
There you go. Wow, it's just extraordinary. Really, really is.
And he's. Yeah, it's almost like, how do you beat him? You're just going to have to rely on the fact that, again, at some point, he's going to go through the gears, he's going to go to the well, and it's not going to be there. That's like the only time. And it happens to all the great sportsmen. Michael Van Gerwen went on long winning streaks. He was world number 1 for 7 years, and at the moment, he is not quite at his peak. So it's going to happen at some point, but
sure.
it feels like it's going to be a while. I was looking at the bookmaking odds yesterday for the World Championship. He's basically like $2.20, $2.30 in the decimal odds to win the World Championship. Humphries is like $5, and everyone else is double digits. So it's the Lukes and it's everybody else.
Sounds about right.
It is mad, and those two, they're going to be testing many more finals, and I'm going to enjoy them because I like watching the two leagues play. Two other people I really enjoyed watching this week, Ricky Evans and Luke Humphries, who made quarterfinals. We talked a bit about them last week when they got through their groups, and that was a positive surprise. Well, Vang's back in this segment because he also made it through to the quarterfinals as well. He is in now a very good position to retain his tour card. I don't think he's plays finals this weekend, which hurts him a little bit. Let me just double check that on the screen next to me. He is not, but he'll be at the Worlds, obviously. And Ricky Evans as well. He went from somewhere in the middle of that Pro Tour Order of Merit World Championship race to now being world number 40. So
wow, that's a huge uptick.
A strong week and much needed. And Michael Smith also made it to a quarterfinal. It's amazing how often the tour card holder qualifiers for the slam can often just make deep runs. We saw it with Luke Bin getting to the final last year, and Mickey Mansell and those guys.
That's right. That's a good get. Yeah, I was very happy. Obviously, great to see Ricky back and Bully Boy as well, as you touched on. How good to see. If he hit that 9 dart, that would have been insane. But Lucas Winnig as well, he was huge. It was close to being Nopper. He took eight legs off Nopper, so that was impressive.
Yeah. He was impressive. He looked good in both games against Nopper. He really should have won the group stage match.
He did.
Not against Noppert, not in the group stage.
Yeah.
He topped the group, but he lost to Noppert in the group stage and then lost to him again in the quarterfinal. But again, a strong week. And Ricky Evans as well was competitive in the first half against Gerwen Price. Gerwen Price is another one that really likes these longer formats. So
he does.
He was always going to be a bit tougher to beat. But still a strong week for both, and very important to be informed this time of year, Josh.
Sure is, as we know. It's major season, and they're only less than a month after the World Championships. Hell yeah!
This time next week, Josh will have the draw, and I'm looking forward to dissecting the draw and every single possibility. I'll get to that.
Absolutely.
Jay. Something I've said a lot about Michael Van Gerwen on this podcast, and it's the fact that he's going to be hit and miss. Some games, some tournaments, he's going to be right up there at the sort of classic level, and then other tournaments he's going to be disappointing. So it's still very difficult to know which Michael Van Gerwen is showing.
It's going to rock up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, potentially a little harsh, but that was just something that was notable for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, Danny Noppert making a great run, and we'll get to him in a moment as well. Just quickly, I found this this morning, and you might not be familiar with this, Josh. Gone
I'm
to
not.
artsnews.com. Adrian Lewis is probably not going to Q School after all, and that's based on the fact that he's got some exhibitions booked at certain times, which would imply that he's probably not looking for a tour card at the moment, which is a little bit disappointing.
It
We
is.
want to see AD Lewis back in front of, on a big stage.
We sure do.
We haven't seen as much of him as I really would have liked. He was obviously with Steve Beaton in England in the Modus Super Series international pairs, and I was hoping he'd come back for an individual week.
No, he didn't.
But
Shame.
he hasn't done that, at least as of yet. So it looks like for AD at the moment, but still a little bit disappointing that he won't even attempt to go to Q School by the looks of things.
Well, as yet, yeah. Well, hopefully he changes his mind for sure, because it'd be great to see him on the big stage. There's been so many iconic memories, matches of him, and we'd love to see him back for sure.
So let me just read this. Several announcements have been made on social media. Exhibition tournaments in 2026 with Lewis, one of the crowd pleasers. 4 tour card holders have already been booked at some of these exhibitions, which means that if he became a tour card holder, they'd have to get rid of one, because you can only have so many tour card holders at these sort of exhibitions. So it would be disappointing if he doesn't even attempt to go to Q School, but I guess it's all up to him for when he wants to make the return, much like Raymond Smith now going to the WDF. But, you know, you would think that if he comes up with a plan, he should be sticking to that and have confidence that that's the right way to get back.
Yeah, agree. But time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will certainly tell. Now, Josh, we talked about this in the Great Debate last week, but I wanted to bring it up again because I have confidence I have various different answers to the question, who should be in the Premier League? As we know, it's the top 4 in the world after the World Championships, and then the top 4 wild cards get picked by the PDC thereafter.
Yes.
Now, the top 4 in the world currently Luke's Michael Van Gerwen and Stephen Bunting. But the likes of, if we just go to the tour card race, the likes of Johnny Clayton, Danny Noppert, Jan van Veen, bearing down on Stephen in particular in that 4th place spot. So with 2 tournaments to go, all could change. So no guarantee Stephen's even in the top 4. And that would force the hand of someone like Danny Noppert from getting in. I have several different answers to this question, but firstly, who should be in the Premier League, Josh, in terms of the, and you can say, obviously the Luke's, Michael and Stephen would have to be in at the moment, but other than that, who would you have as wild cards and why?
Right, well, obviously besides that, so should I give my 4 wild cards, yeah?
If you want, go ahead.
Price, Van Veen, Rock and Clayton are those 4. Obviously you got Humphries, Littler, MVG as well. Yeah, so those are my 8 for the moment. Again, people were saying around a fortnight ago, Rock sort of hasn't had the big uptick we were hoping since that big run, but I still back him. He was still very, very good. Made the quarterfinal obviously against Littler, and he was great. So I still believe in him that he'll get that spot.
I'd be interested to know if you might not have even thought about this. Do you have like a 9th and 10th who's like the next guys below the 4 you mentioned?
Good question.
Who's sort of the unlucky ones to miss out as of right now if you had to select the 8 now?
I've not thought about that actually. Great question. I want to say Damo, but I'm sorry, he's not here at the moment.
Yeah.
Danny Noppert could be one, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I thought you would say that.
Yeah. Obviously, he made the semi against Littler, obviously, and he looked really good. But yeah, he could be that sort of 9th, 10th spot. Someone else, don't know really. You have to get back to me.
Yeah. So let me just remind myself here. At the moment, my 8 would be, in addition to the 4 already mentioned, who I'd already have in, even if they didn't finish top 4, because you know I love Stephen, is Van Veen, Rock, Price and Clayton, was that the same as yours? I didn't even write down. It might be the same as yours. Now,
I think Van Veen, Rock, Clayton, Price.
Yeah. I think we're on agreement there now. I am positive. I'm pretty confident. I know who the PDC currently think are the 8.
I look forward to seeing
all you have to do for this is you have to look at the Players Championship Finals order of play came out for the first day, and if you're in the afternoon session, you're probably not in the greatest spot. And the likes of Danny Noppert, James Wade. I was going to throw out another name out there as well, and now I forgot. Danny Noppert, James Wade, and Johnny Clayton are all there. So I think the PDC's 8 are, in addition to the top 4, Van Veen, Rock, Price, and Aspinall. And the reason why I put Aspinall there is he's in the afternoon session. And I am positive we can stamp this time, whatever. It's currently 12:51 on Wednesday the 19th. And we'll work out what time this is in the podcast. I guarantee you now, Josh, there will not be any more than 3, but more likely 2 changes from last year's format. From last year's 8, I should say.
Okay.
There will not be any more. The PDC will not dare do anything more. So for those of you saying that maybe Stephen hasn't had the greatest of a year, which isn't entirely true, he's 9th on the current year-to-date ranking money. Stephen will be in the Premier League, I guarantee you that, because they're not going to change like what 4 players, because you're probably not going to have Cross or Dobie. Aspinall's he's won a few Euro Tours, so he's had a good enough year. Similar with Price, but he's had a good enough year. Won a few titles here and there. Now, should guys like Clayton Wade theoretically be ahead of them? Yes, they should. But the Premier League doesn't have any sort of proper qualification format. It's just a touring exhibition. That's all it is. So there's not going to be any more than, and 3 is probably stretched. It's more likely going to be 2, though I could see 3 maybe. But most likely it's going to be 2. And Van Veen Rock have won majors this year, so that in theory should put them in. And Van Veen's currently 3rd on the year-to-date ranking money. But the thing with Danny Noppert is, obviously he could finish top 4, and that would change this conversation entirely. And that's where you probably get 3 changes. But Danny Noppert could win the Players' Championship finals this weekend, which, the way he's playing, he probably could. But if he loses first or second round of the World Championships, he will not be in. The Premier League conversation is a pub quiz where the first 19 questions are worth 1 point and the last question is worth 50 points. It's going to be all about the World Championship. We saw it last year. Decker really should have been in, but he lost his first game of the world, so he wouldn't even been 9th. Peter Wright would have been ahead of him on the Premier League, on what I asked you to do, the Premier League consolation table. So when I say my 8, you could argue other players who are more worthy, but I don't get very excited watching Danny Noppert. I'm sorry. Nothing against Danny. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I do not get excited watching him if he's the draw card. So Stephen could not win a game all of next year. I have him in the following year's Premier League because I get excited watching Stephen, of course.
You do.
And same with the likes of Van Veen and Rock. Similar with James Wade. I don't get particularly excited with James Wade, so he's probably not there, even though you could argue he deserves a place. But we can stamp it now. There'll be 2 changes. I can definitely see 2 changes, but it'd be very unlikely to there be any more. If there's any more, there's 3. There's no way there's going to be 4 changes from last year's 8. It's just not how the PDC have done the Premier League ever.
Well, maybe 2026 will be the year.
Maybe it's going to change eventually. It's like Littler's going to have to lose a long format game at some point to someone not called Luke. It may very well happen. We may get 4 changes and then I look like an idiot. But I'm pretty confident we'll see 2 changes. And then, but at the moment, Nathan Aspinall, who you could argue has had, is less deserving of it as a place like Clayton or Wade and maybe a few others that are actually in. At the moment, I'm certain he's in the Premier League because he's a likeable face with a popular walk-on song. And if you're outside the Premier League, you have to do more to get in it than someone who's already in it. That's just the way this tournament has always worked with the wildcard format.
Well, I was going to say, you were saying earlier, the 4 spots are someone people who are marketable for the PDC.
Yeah.
Obviously, Aspinall, Mr. Brightside, Bunting, Bulletproof.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say,
Van Veen and Rock are the youngsters coming through, so that works.
The youth is good.
Price with is a very well-known character.
Of course.
So again, Gillen Price or Nathan Aspinall could lose first and second round of the Worlds and still be in the Premier League, but Danny Noppert, James Wade, maybe even Johnny Clayton, to a less extent Van Veen and Rock cannot afford to lose first and second round. And I don't know, we'll look at the international qualifiers later, Josh. There are some fantastic names. This is a very strong international qualifiers segment. You do not want to draw someone off the Dev Tour or the Challenge Tour or even in the Asian Tour plays, because even though, is Paul Lim the greatest international qualifier we have? Probably not, but he's going to have the crowd on his side and the pace that he plays is going to throw people off. So that's going to... I can't wait for the draw. The draw is going to be so brilliant. We're going to have so many amazing first and second round matches at this World Championship. I can't wait. So that's where the Premier League is at. We're in agreement with what the age should be. I'm confident that Nathan Aspinall, even though he really should be only like 11th or 12th in this conversation, is probably in the Premier League as of right now. And I'll stand by what I think I've said in previous podcasts, that they need to use a proper, more objective criteria to pick the Premier League players, and the year-to-date order of merit would be the best way to do that. Which the four based on that would be Van Veen, Clayton, Wade and Price. So you still have the top four as of right now, so the Luke, Michael and Stephen, and then based on that currently Van Veen, Clayton, Wade and Price would be your top four ahead of Noppert, Rock and Aspinall. That might be a bit harsh on Josh Rock with the World Cup not being a ranking event, but that would be a better way. And you could still have, as I suggested last week with Bo, bring back the challenges, which you could pick anybody you want, and that way you still get that one cut element.
True. Well, that 10th name, I just had the thought, that'd be James Wade for me at the moment. That 10th name. Yeah. I just had to come back to me. I just thought of it then. Yeah. There you go.
Exhibition, so your 8 can just be the 8 players you like. If you want Ricky Evans in the Premier League because you just enjoy watching him, or Paul Lim, like, great. Then that is no... Saying Ricky Evans should be in the Premier League is actually no worse of an answer than saying Danny Noppert or James Wade, because there's no objective criteria. It's just whoever you fancy.
There should be a bit more criteria, but we'll move on.
Yes, we can't talk about this forever. But on the PDC, I should have brought this up alongside me on my second screen here. Let me find this. But it was, we talked about this last week with the JDC Super 16 there at Wolverhampton. Lewis Cook picked up the title, Josh.
It is, yes. He is the teenage talent. So that was on the PDC stage on the Sunday, and he won the Super 16 final. He competed against Ellis Hadfield in the latest final, and he won 5-1, and he reeled off the last 4 legs to claim victory. It's also his... he won the JDC European Open in 24 and 25, I believe. So he's got some cups to his name already, but that was very good to see him get the win there. And he will be the JDC Junior World Championship, which is in Gibraltar, November 24 to 28.
Yeah, so the only rounds of that's a real week ahead sort of thing. So the JDC Junior World Championships, the sort of preliminary stages of that is coming up in the next sort of week and a half. And then the final of that will get played at the Ali Pali, as has been the case for a few years. Luke Littler's first game on the Ali Pali was the JDC World Final.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Perhaps unsurprisingly. But, people need in spare time to sort of go on Dark Connect and look at some of these JDC averages, because they're already, like these 12, 13-year-olds, they're already pretty much at like Dev Tour standard already. And someone hit a 9 data during the week at a junior competition I saw somewhere. I can't remember that exactly. But yeah, so the standard now is through the roof, and it's probably always been there or thereabouts. It's just we're seeing it now more often, which is great.
It's
and the future of the sport's in good hands, I reckon.
It's only gotten better. Yeah, obviously, Mitchell Laurie's probably that name that is leading the pack.
He's the best one at the moment. He's playing more WDF style of things, but instead of JDC. But watch him. 14 years of age. Look forward to watching him at the Lakeside when we get there.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Now, hang on. There we go. Brilliant. Now we've talked way too long without talking about any Australian darts, and in theory, Extra Time really should be basically all about Australian sports, but we changed that for this podcast a little bit. So let's talk some Australian stuff, Josh. And Raymond Smith, I told you. What did I tell you? It would not be right for the darting gods not to give Raymond Smith a second Premier League nightly title after the season he's had. He just got over the line against Simon Whitlock, who left himself, I think it was double 10. But Raymond Smith took out the 100. The way Van Veen went, 20-48-32 to pick up the title. And he's very much on top of the ANZ Premier League standings with 1 night to go, Josh, in Brisbane.
He is, yes. Well, I picked Whitlock and he was so close, but Smith, he was fantastic. We'll go through his results. 5-1 against Johnny Tartar, first up, 90.81 average. 5-2 against Pusey, 85, and then a fantastic cracker between himself and Whitlock, 5-4 in the last leg decider, 85.56 average. Yeah, that was probably the game of the night, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah, very competitive stuff. And look, Josh, when it comes to you and me on the dartboard, I would concede you're the better player. But it should be known that I got 6 out of 7 matches correct, and the only one I did, I was just for the heart. I was trying to urge Kamita to win one more match. He got whitewashed 5-0 again, so that didn't happen. But other than that, I had a very good night on the prediction side of thing. And so this is night 7 as it panned out. So Raymond Smith beating Tom Whitlock in the final. But now we get to the standings, and as it all eased up, there were the guys on commentary sort of weren't 100% sure on the I had to write down. I didn't watch this live. I watched it back the next day because I was at the Hockey One watching HC Melbourne win both matches and get ready for a great final series. Come on, the black and gold. Anyway, I was watching this back and I'd already written down the ladder coming in or the standings coming in, and I was changing it after every match. Okay, he goes to this on the leg differential, goes to this many points. And so I was like, I don't think Simon Whitlock's through yet, boys on commentary. But as it ended up, Raymond Smith has top of the standings, Johnny Tartar second, Simon Whitlock third, and Tim Pusey fourth, ahead of Kling fifth, Rob sixth, Bailey seventh, and Joe Camito eighth. Now,
Poor Joe.
I was saying 6 out of 7 for predictions is good, Josh, but I think you had all 4 of these guys, did you not?
I did. I had the top 4, and nearly in order as well. As in, like, Smith.
Well, you said in no particular order, Josh.
I said no
you were
particular
very close
order.
to actually getting the order right. I think you just had...
But as in, I was close to get it right. Yeah, Smith. As in, like I said on the reel, Smith, Tartar, Pusey, Whitlock. So Pusey and Whitlock were the other way around, but pretty close.
And I got 3 out of 4. And to be honest, when you said Johnny Tartar on that preview podcast we did, I was immediately regretting not picking Tartar. That made so much sense. And from night 1, like it just made so much sense in retrospect. And I just didn't do it. I went to the wrong Darts Player Association nation winner. So that one's on me, but so very well done.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get to the when we get to the week ahead, we'll preview that final night, and I'll be writing something that will go up on Thursday the 20th. I don't actually know when this podcast is going up to. I have to send it to someone. It'll probably go up.
I was gonna say
soonish.
I also wrote an article for Raymond Smith's victory on night 7, and Lorenzo will write one previewing finals night in Brisbane at Brisbane Arena on Saturday.
And by the way, if the field hockey HC Melbourne stuff sounded interesting, I've also written an article for extratimemedia.com on that. So make sure to check out our website.
Check out both of those.
Right. This is how we talked about the world number 1 already, but just to sort of confirm it here in this discussion, Luke Littler goes to world number 1. He's won £1,850,500.
Wow.
So he's gone ahead of Luke Humphries there, and a few other climbers and risers, guys who weren't in this event a few years ago dropping back, and guys who weren't in this event 2 years ago gaining money and having good weekends as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the most notable one is Dane Noppert there as well. Who else can we see who was going all right?
Scott's gone to the world's top 50.
Yes, that's good. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's down the bottom. Yeah, he had a great week. Obviously, the big fish, and was well in the group stage and everything for sure.
Rob Cross is a big faller, given he was in the final of this tournament 2 years ago. He didn't qualify this year, so he fell. Ricky Evans, as I mentioned earlier, into the world's top 40, which guarantees him a spot at the World Championships on that method instead of the other method, which he would have qualified for anyway. This is on the other side. Nico Springer also continuing to rise. Lucas Weing probably holds on to his tour card now off the back of this, and could be a danger in a few matches at Alexandra Palace. Speaking of which, Josh, all over this weekend, we had so many international qualifiers. Christoph Kachuk in Poland, Andy Bartens in the Belgium, Netherlands. Jimmy Van Skees, the number 1 seed for the WF, nearly beat Andy Bartens, and then that would have caused all sorts of chaos for the WDF. Thankfully, that didn't happen, and the former Lakeside champion is there. Boris Krichmar, the big Croatian, is going to be there on the Croatian qualifier. And Matishku Tatsunami won the Steel Darts Japan finals, so he's going to be the Japanese qualifier there. There's other qualifiers off the Asian tour, that sort of thing. And then Adam Gavlas was also one who won a qualifier, so he also made his way through. And then Crystal Reyes, remember him? He was talking for several years and was a regular at the Alexandra Palace. He is back, having won the qualifier there in, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was specifically for Spain or sort of a wider region, but he also made it through. So all these, I think these just great names to get through. Kachuk looked like a promising player when I saw him at the Poland Darts Masters. We know what Boris Krichmar can do. Raymond Smith beat him, didn't he, at the World Cup, WDF World Cup, that is.
Not sure. Yeah, well, there you go. These are names that you know are better than what you think they are, for sure. So good to see. Get some variety. Got some new guys, which is cool.
Now,
Guys
every
who got
name
the
on your
chance.
screen now, there is 122 names on your screen now. Every single one of them will go to the World Championship, even the guys on the tour card holder side of things, because everybody who, all 64 players at the Players Finals this weekend is on this list, so no one can be dislodged by having a great week in Minehead. So they're all there, all the international qualifiers there, Josh. Only 6 places left to be decided. The 5 tour
There's
card
those
holders
ones.
and
Yep.
the ANZ Premier League. So we're the last one. Let's
Will
be
it
honest, the
be?
true international qualifiers is the last one is the Australia New Zealand.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, if Raymond Smith wins, he has said 80,000 times that he won't beat Ali Pally, so who will it go
And they're
to?
going to ask him
Who
one more
knows?
time on the big stage.
Oh,
Are
they
you
will.
really sure you want a Lakeside?
They will,
Yeah,
no
so it's a
doubt.
weird situation with this one, because if Simon Whitlock wins, that's the best scenario for the PDC. Obviously, another marketable
for
name,
sure.
and he just
Marketing
qualifies.
wise.
But if it's Tim Pusey, Johnny Tata, or Raymond Smith, someone else will also get an additional spot based off
That's true. Yeah,
off the ADA or the DPA or DPNZ
which is
side of
great.
things.
Absolutely.
Which, yeah, it's a funny sport, isn't it, this one? If Tim Pusey wins, I think Brody Kling qualifies for the World Championship. So it's all very odd.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but
Lots of different scenarios.
it's the next guy on the ADL, or the next guy on the DPL, the next guy on the DPNZ, that sort of thing. So it'd be unlucky for someone like Simon Whitlock, who makes it all the way to the final, if he was to lose the final and someone else's spot gets taken by somebody who finished lower than him. So maybe they just give it to Whitlock. I don't know. The PDC don't really confirm these things as quickly as they really should. So we will see. The best scenario for the PDC is just for Simon Whitlock to win, which, the way he played on night 7, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to win this Premier League.
It was good. So there you go. There's all the names bar 6.
6.
So there you go. It's nearly there. It's nearly all wrapped up. We'll have the draw, what you said, next week, hopefully?
Next week. So the draw will be held Tuesday morning Australian time. I think it's like 4:45, something like that, 4:15, 4:45 on Sky Sports News in the UK. It'll be live on there, and it'll be on the PDC social media thereafter. So Tuesday morning when we wake up Australian time on that'll be the 25th. That's when we'll have the draw, Josh, and that's when over the next really maybe 2 or 3 podcasts, we'll be dissecting the draw, looking at some of our favorite matchups and potential matchups further on. It's going to be, I can't wait. It's so exciting.
Absolutely. No, it's great. There you go.
I love these events that happen before big sporting events. So something like the Grand Final Parade or the Melbourne Cup Barrier Draw. It's the big event before the big event. And a World Championship draw has all of that. I can't wait. It's one of the best events of the year, the World Dutch Championship draw.
It is the best event of the year, pretty much. And, it's coming to Christmas. It's great. All signs are good.
All right. We had, speaking of Aussies, we had some WDF youth events going on, Josh. This is all you.
We did, yes. So we had Jacob Powell and Emily Jarvis win the Sunraysia youth events, and they doubled up. Both got victories. And on the next slide, they've got the results, which is pretty cool. So there's Jacob Powell's results in the youth event 1 and 2, obviously winning over all of them. I won't read all of them, but you can see the results on the screen. Pretty decent averages, and they're around the sort of 60, 66 mark, which is good. Emily Jarvis also won the event 1 and 2 as well, which is cool. So congrats to both of those. Jacob and Emily also had support Modus as always. Charlie Manby was your week 11 winner. So we have one more week to go until Series 12 Champions Week. He won 4-2 against Scott Campbell, who's also very good, 95 average, 50% on the doubles, and 1 maximum to go with that. And we have week 12. Some really cool names here. Mervyn King, Roby John, Archie Self, who now is the youngest person to debut at the Live Lounge. You'll see that next slide. Tommy Lee's who had a 9 data at that stage, obviously. Trina Gulliver as well. Who else? Romeo Govak as well.
There's one name that sticks out to me that won't stick out for you, Josh. It's Gary Mawson. And the reason why that was I came across his name during the week, learning that he made a UK Open final in, I think, 2008, where he lost to James Wade. If that is the exact same Gary Mawson I'm thinking about, an American. I imagine this would have to be the same Gary Mawson. So that's cool that his name pops up a couple of times for me during this week. The Canadian-born American player. He beat Raymond van Barneveld in the semi-final to get to that UK Open final, which is an impressive feat.
Very impressive.
Hasn't played at a World Championship since 2011, but if that is indeed the same Gary Mawson, that's quite something. And here you were talking about the youngest players. Luke Littler previously held the record, and of course won a couple of Super Series titles, but it's Archie Self who now takes the record.
Yeah. So it's 16 on the dot. So I think you can only play when you're 16 years old. So literally on the exact day he played on the Monday morning on his birthday. So there you go. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 16 for a lot of these senior darts. I say seniors, like not junior events. That is 16, like the PDC to 16, so that's the limit. So that's a record that will in theory never be taken from him unless they change the rules. That's the only way that record can be taken from him. It can in theory be shared, but it can never be taken from him outright unless they change the rules.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Mitchell Laurie get an invite. I'm sure he'll get an invite. It's only 14, but if they change it to 15, then I'd love to see him earlier. That's for sure. He's incredible.
We'll just have to wait a little bit longer, Josh, for
You will.
But no doubt Mitchell Laurie will be getting an invite to Portsmouth. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No.
This is where we stand after Group A. Oh, Gary Mawson's up to third. Impressive stuff. But it's Mervyn King out on top.
Yes, it is. So he is currently 7-3 on 14 points. Archie Self has won 4 games, which is great. It's good to see him get some wins on the stage. Roby John is sitting alongside him on 8 points. So there is a table after 2 days. So Mervyn King looks likely, but Johan could also be there. Gary's looking good, as you mentioned. So it's all up to play for on the last day.
And that's a recap of the 11 players we'll have. I said earlier that Adrian Lewis hadn't yet played at Portsmouth. I forgot where we were. I thought we might have been week 11. This is week 12, so he definitely won't be playing a singles week at Modus just yet.
No, so Wilkinson, Brown, Duff, Pallets.
Go back. Sorry.
Walker, Evans, Owen, Sykes, Coulson, Small. You can add Charlie Manby to that list as well. Hasn't been updated yet. So last week to go before a huge Series 12 at Portsmouth. We had our game. Look, wasn't the best, was it? It was pretty.
No, it wasn't. I could hit big number. I was 100% on the doubles. I only had one data double, and I hit double 18, which is my favorite. So that was fun. I am currently in the process of doing a lot of thinking about my equipment and potentially getting some new stuff, Josh. We talked a bit about that last week, but that wasn't a particularly amazing encounter. My average was better than 40 for much of it, but if Josh had actually hit doubles earlier, my average would actually be sitting there above 40.
It would have been,
He and I mucked around a bit, so that didn't happen. Anyway, but something's happening, Josh, in the darts down under Division 2. What have you been doing?
Okay, so I need to get some context. So Chris Stewart, who was last, he has unfortunately pulled out for the last few weeks, I think, just due to some health, family problems. So hopefully he's okay. So we have a Div 3 person in Fletcher Bale who has gone Div 2 and Div 3. This guy's better than Div 3, I'm telling you. He was very, very good. Sure, I was shit on the doubles, sorry for my language, but he was better than Div 3 for sure. He was very solid. Oh no, it was horrible. It really was. So shout out to him. He was very, very good on the day. And we have the ladder. It's not completely updated, but Liam Wallace is confirmed the champion due to points, league difference, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But this obviously hasn't been updated, but I'm probably sitting around the 3rd, 4th mark. Andrew Stratton and Jody Webster I think they're in the same spot, but I think I may slide down based on league difference, perhaps, or may just stay in 2nd. I'm not sure as yet. But it's a big week this week. I'm versing Michael Skinner on next slide. He is 5th, I believe. So huge, huge week for me to stay in that sort of top 4. It'd be beautiful as top 2, but looking like maybe a playoff position with, I think, 2 or 3 weeks to go.
Something I'd like to... if you can, before you go, Josh, I'd love to know if you would be able to pick a winner of the 2025 Players Championship Finals coming up this weekend in Butland's Minehead. In theory, if we had, I would love to, dissect all the brackets with you, but you probably haven't gone through it, and we should probably wrap this up fairly shortly. I have my... Look, it's quite funny because the Lukes are on different sides of the bracket, so in theory we can get on the Humphries.
They could verse each other again. Boring.
Yeah, I know. We need somebody to not be double digits going into the World Championship. We need someone to have a great run, and I've been saying for a little while I think Gowan Price could potentially win a title. So I'm going to pick Gowan Price to win the Players Finals.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Josh Rock meets him in the final for something completely different. So that's my prediction. I will say I like the little portion of the bracket Stephen Bunting is in. He needs a good run before the Worlds, so he should make. I say should make a quarterfinal, but we know with Stephen that that some days he's off his game and someone can really pounce. So he plays Regiet House on the main
It's
stage.
like, in that top quarter there. Yeah.
So he's in the same section with Go and Price. So it'd be a tough ask to get past the
Interesting.
quarterfinal, but I think in the little section he's in, he should be making it to the quarterfinal stage.
Okay, interesting. There are a lot of cracking games here. Just by
Absolutely. Van
quick
Veen's got
scan.
Luke Humphries. The poor guy cannot get a first round draw.
No,
That
he
works.
can't.
He's going to get like the best international qualifier at the World Championship.
Yeah.
I want to make another World Championship draw prediction. I'm going to predict after losing to Alexis Toilo, Stephen Bunting is going to get one of the Asian players in the first round of the World Championship as well. That's the way. That's how it's going to work out. I assure you of that. I've made some big calls in this episode of our podcast. So
both of us have. We made huge calls. That's for sure. What else are some pretty good games? Anderson. Oh no, I thought that was Dirk. Never mind. Ross Smith Springer. That's also a good one. Obviously Van Veen Humphries, as you mentioned. I'm interested to see how Ricky Evans goes against Danny Noppert. I'm interested in that top right hand corner there. But to answer your question, my winner and opponent who face, I am going to go for Johnny Clayton.
Ooh.
I think the Ferret will get over James Harrell, and then who knows, his draw, in that sort of bracket isn't too strong, but it is strong enough. So, you got Dobie in there.
He would have to run into Luke Littler in the quarterfinals, but
I think Luke is bound to have a stinker soon. Surely. Absolute stinker. Like, come on. He can't win all these games.
He should beat Jeffrey de Graaf in that first round, but the second round match will be interesting because he plays either Ross Smith or Nico Springer. Now, that would be a good match.
That's interesting. I can see either of those men winning against him. So who he'll verse in the final from the other side.
Stop saying verse, Josh. I hate when people do that.
Sorry. Who he'll play will be... We'll go James Wade on that other side of the bracket.
It wouldn't surprise me if Wade made a run.
Clayton versus Wade. I think Johnny Clayton could put a stir up. So I think Clayton over Wade. But obviously... Yeah, I think Wade is a good chance. Obviously, he's won a major this year, so I think Clayton will get the chockies. But
I think Wade's in a good section as well.
Absolutely,
it could be a bit of a chaos event, but expect the two Lukes in the final. But it could be. Well, it'll be interesting if Kel Van Veen makes a deep run because he's also got the World Youth Final against Bo Greaves. Now that's another one for the Premier League discussion. If Bo beats Van Veen and then who knows at the World, so that could be fascinating. So the Play Championship Finals coming up. We've made predictions, just hoping it's just not Luke and Luke again. Even though, as I said earlier, I enjoy watching them, but it'll be fun to see something different.
Absolutely.
Right. ANZ Premier League, the finals night is in Brisbane, and you did what I should have done and put that particular graphic from the ADA on the next slide. Raymond Smith and Tim Pusey, Johnny Tata against Simon Whitlock. Both of us predicted Raymond Smith before the tournament. I have no reason to change that.
Yeah.
Did you want to do all three matches for the social media graphic? Do you want to do all three matches, Josh?
Sure. Well,
and a leg score. Now,
yeah, sure.
Before you make a fool of yourself, the semi-finals are first to 8 and the finals first to 10. I feel like I have to throw that in there.
Okay, you're right there, down because I did see it somewhere. First to 8, first to 10. Thank you. All right, I'm going to stick to my guns in terms of who's going to face in the final. So Smith will win against Pusey. First to 8, we will go 8-5 Roman Smith. And then on that other side, Tata versus Whitlock. I do have Tata, and I think he will win. I think Whitlock will give him a shake-up. I really do. Tata was very disappointing last week. I think he'll, try and gain himself back up. So I have him winning 8-6. I think that'll be close. And then we go to the final, which is first to 10, as you mentioned. Thank you. Smith versus Tata. I think Smith will win it. I'm sticking to what I said earlier, and he will win 10-6. There you go. And he'll be the champion of the inaugural ANZ Premier League.
And note down, Josh, my predictions. I have Raymond Smith beating Tim Pusey by 8 legs to 4. I think this was your score as well. Johnny Tata against Simon Whitlock, 8 legs to 6. I wrote that down before you wrote your one. I have it a fraction closer in the final, but Raymond Smith to beat Johnny Tata, 10 legs to 8.
10 legs to 8. Done.
So but it wouldn't completely surprise me if any of the 4 on your screen won any of those matches. It should be a fascinating night in Brisbane. I'm looking forward to it, and I will write and publish an article on the Thursday previewing our finals night, which is going to be fantastic.
Beautiful. Happy days.
Happy days indeed. And a reminder that the Tall Gut Holder qualifier is the Monday night, Tuesday morning Australian time, with the draw coming out at the end of the day. So presuming we do a podcast this time next week, Josh, we will have
Yep.
the draw ready and raring to go. And let me just check. Actually, first, you talk about the Darts Archive.
I will. Yep. So last week we spoke about the 2018 Grand Slam of Darts final. We previewed that, and geez, it was a spicy toe-to-toe game. It was just back and forth the whole time. But then there was a passage in the game where Anderson was up 13-11. He lost his cool. Price won the next 5 legs on the trot to win 16-13, what was a classic.
Also, while we're talking about the week ahead, the WDF World Championship starts on the 28th of November. So, Josh, this time next week, I'd like to hear winners in the Open Women's, Boys and Girls World Champions as well, if you wouldn't mind be able to start thinking about that already.
I will write that down right now. Yep.
Perhaps some finalists, and a finalist as well, if you can have one as well. So it should be an interesting one. Now, Josh, I had an interesting dilemma this week for my Darts Archive. I assume you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. No,
I had a few choices. I could have gone to a Players Championship finals, but I could have, but I thought, you know what, with the World Championships around the corner, we should really start looking at some of those classic Ali Pali matches. So that's where I've gone, and I have gone to one of the great matches. We're going to, I think it was 2016. It was 2016 World Championship, lost 16, third round. Raymond van Barneveld's playing Michael van Gogh, and there's no Michael van Gogh in this week of the Players Finals, so I thought we really should throw him in for a Darts Archive. One of the great matches. As I put it there, 25 in a row on TV, or I actually can't see that number at the moment. But this was Michael van Gogh in his pomp. He was world number 1. He was basically unbeatable, but Raymond van Barneveld had turned up. He'd beaten Stephen Bunting, and now he was coming to try and knock out MVG. MVG, we talked about this earlier in the year. He played a match at the start of this tournament in the first round against Rene Edams, and he nearly got beaten that match. He survived 3 sets to 2. Edams was at Modus earlier this year. That's why I brought it up at the time. So this is going to be a tight match throughout, back and forth. If you watch this match on the PDC's YouTube channel, it gets a little bit sketchy towards the end of the second leg in terms of the footage, but that's the only time there's any real issues. It's a thrilling match. There's some unbelievable clutch checkouts in this particular match, and we'll see, can Raymond van Barneveld produce what would be one of the big upsets for the old legendary Dutchman? Could he beat Michael van Gogh, and who at the time is the best player in the world and has gone on a long unbeaten run on the telly? Well, you'll have to find out next week, or perhaps watch it in your own time and learn about the history of darts, which is the point of the Darts Archive segment.
Well said.
Learning about matches. That's because, let's be honest, if you listen to Darts long enough, you'll hear these matches get referred to in commentary, so you'll want to know, and before it gets spoiled for you. That's the thinking there. All right, Josh, another big show. Fingers crossed, all the recording and everything worked, and we don't sound too awful. Thank you very much for listening, and
pleasure as always.
Like and subscribe to Extra Time. Look out for extratimemedia.com for all of the articles we've referenced that are either out or will be out after this episode. Thank you very much, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. That was good fun.
Huge week. Lots that we've gotten through, and there's still lots to come with the Players Finals, with the WF Worlds coming up, with Modus going to be in Champions Week next week. The ADC Global Championship isn't close away, and of course, Josh, next week we will have the entire bracket for the 2026 Paddy Power World Darts Championship. It's going to be the biggest darts tournament of all time. 128 players, £5 million, 1 million of which going to the winner. It is so exciting.
It's a lot of prize money.
And the big question this week is, can anybody win a tournament before the Worlds who is not named Luke Humphries or Luke Littler? And that might be able to make the betting markets a little more, a little less, I should say, one-sided.
We'll see. We got the Premier League as well. Can anyone stop Raymond Smith? We'll see on
ANZ
Saturday
Premier
night.
League as well. The international qualifiers will be determined this week. Well done, Josh.
Thank you. Good fun. Thanks everyone for listening. Like to subscribe, of course. Got our articles. Lorenzo wrote on Thursday, mine that came out a couple of days ago. And thanks for watching, guys.
This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.